want to live stream too.
Oh, cool. I can't guarantee your safety.
What's up with the Proud Boys?
You look like you could take them.
I could take them.
Tell me about the you can take them.
I could take them.
So they're Nazis. You're live streaming?
Huh?
You're live
I
streaming?
am live streaming, yes.
And they're Nazis. Should we be scared? Like,
I'm not.
Okay. Tell me about the Proud Boys. What are they?
The Proud Boys are, have you heard of Richard Spencer?
I have.
Okay,
I think I've heard of them.
I've heard of that
the
guy.
Tiki Torch guys.
Yeah.
Charlotte, that's it.
Right, Charlotte. That's them?
That's it.
Are you
They
sure
were at
there?
Charlottesville?
They were at Charlottesville?
Yes.
I watched that. I didn't hear anything about them being there. I know
Yeah.
that there were
Richard Spencer,
some
Gavin
neo-Nazis there,
McGinnis. Gavin McGinnis.
Gavin McInnes was there?
He's the head of the Proud Boys.
Oh.
Gavin McGinnis is the head of the Proud Boys.
Oh.
Okay? So that's
But
it.
are you sure he was there at Charlottesville? I didn't.
No, I don't
hear
know if
that.
Gavin was at Charlottesville.
Okay. Well, what are they doing tonight? What are they up to?
They are in town for a pub crawl,
Okay.
a 3-day pub crawl. So they have been going around and doing incredibly
Are they, like-
racist and homophobic things. And you
Like
know,
what? What are they doing?
Just like women who won't stop and engage with them. They're calling them trannies and
Really?
yeah,
Wow. That sounds.
they're just ugly.
That's just.
They're just ugly people.
Have you spoken to them?
Huh?
Have you spoken to them at all?
They know me, but no, I haven't spoken to him this time. In fact, the black guy, he's an Indian, and he's one of the head. He calls himself the Black Rebel,
Yeah.
and he's a very confused person with a lot of internalized racism,
Wow.
who thinks black people need to get over the problem and that there's no such thing as.
But is he
race.
black or is he Indian?
He is black, but I mean, look, black is a
I
color.
thought you said Indian.
Black is a color. The same as Kumar.
Because there's no such thing as race.
Well, there is
Right.
That's actually true.
Yeah.
It's
all social constructs.
That's very good.
Yeah.
He knows his thing.
I'm $200,000 in. You know what? I'm $200,000 in debt. Flirting that fact.
You're $200,000 in debt. Learning
Yeah.
That what?
But it was worth it though.
Tell me what you learned. I gotta hit this one.
I learned that there are no such thing as gender norms. First of all, that race and gender are both social constructs, and that it's all sort of this, overlay over society. So you get to decide. People decide what they want to be, right?
Yeah.
That's kind of what. Am I right? I mean, I come on the right track.
People should be allowed to make.
I'm not 200,000 in debt. It's more like 80.
That's okay. I figured that. That's okay. Tell us a good story. So how did you go about losing all that money, learning things the hard way?
I didn't lose any money. I think I consider it an investment.
Oh, okay.
I mean, that's what college is supposed to be,
I
right?
love you. Yes, yeah. So tell me your story.
Oh, I mean, it's just like everyone else's story. We all went to university and, became a lot smarter after we learned these things.
Well, we would have thought so, but there's a whole lot of things they left out of
Like
our
what?
educations. Like financial literacy, racial
Like not getting
literacy.
$200,000 in debt to learn postmodernism.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And how people are not really different races,
Yeah.
racial literacy, financial literacy, and conflict resolution. You can keep a hypotenuse. Who needs a hypotenuse? Have you ever used a hypotenuse?
He did. I don't know.
Oh,
He's a
well.
math guy.
Yeah, I was a math guy.
Oh, well, good for you. I'm math dead up here.
What did you study?
I'm a social worker.
Oh, okay.
A licensed professional social worker.
So what's the next move?
I chase stupid assholes.
What's the next move against these guys?
Well, I'm just waiting for them to get drunk enough to cause problems.
So what?
Well, see,
You're waiting for them to get drunk enough to cause problems?
yeah, which they will. So let me put it this way.
Wait, what does that mean?
See, they have to go through 4 levels.
Okay.
Okay, and the third level is a tattoo. They have to get a Proud Boy tattoo. The 4th level is they have to beat up a white person.
Oh, a white person?
Yeah.
They have to beat up a white person.
Yeah. They
Specifically a white person?
Well, a liberal.
Oh, are all liberals white?
Well,
I don't think so.
hi.
This is weird.
Oh, okay. These guys are really great. I'm having a great time talking to
Yeah,
you.
I'm just trying to figure out. You've been educating
We're just
us.
fascinated.
Yeah, this is weird to us. So we're just
Well,
here.
good. Where are you from?
Los Angeles.
Los Angeles.
Oh,
yeah.
okay. You're much more enlightened there as a
Yeah.
unit. Yes.
Yeah. We're from the light side.
From the
of
master race.
Yeah.
I didn't mean that. I didn't mean that.
Whoa,
I mean, you get what I mean, right? Because he said we're enlightened, more enlightened than everyone else.
I mean, that doesn't mean I have white privilege. Okay, you have white privilege. We didn't ask
Right.
for it, but we couldn't scrape it off if we wanted to. I mean, we have privilege. We have a certain
Wait,
quality
is that
of life.
privilege you mean like being more enlightened?
Privilege, white privilege means you were born into having a random advantage walking into a bank
Yeah.
talking to a teacher about your problem, getting it, all kinds of things, choosing where you get to live. Okay, all of those things. If you're white, you're in the norm, you're considered the default, then you're allowed to access to everything. But minorities, they don't have that privilege.
Like university, like they get.
Yeah, see, one of the narratives, there's a lot of false narratives that make you think in racist terms. If you are this age and you are not a racist, something's wrong with you. We are all conditioned from birth to be racist, okay?
Internalized racism. Like that,
Well,
he's
no.
got a lot of that, right?
Internalized racism is for black people, okay? Because there's four things. There's prejudice or bias.
Yeah.
We all have that. That's a natural thing, okay? It's like somebody who's less like us, we're less comfortable with, okay? That's okay. You just need to be aware of it. Then the second thing is discrimination. So there can be that's an act based on bias. So that can go either way. Bias can go either way. Racial hatred certainly goes both ways. Racism is a one-way street. It is a white industry only because we are sanctioned by
it's
society.
power plus.
Only white
I get it. Yeah. See?
Only white people, because black people are just naturally they just have naturally less ability to defend themselves, or they just can't.
No, that's one of the narratives that we've been taught is that there must be some reason because see, we get conflated a lot of our mores like
Why couldn't black
pulling
people
yourself
be
up, like pull yourself up with your bootstraps. You've heard that, right? That's an
Yeah.
admirable thing to do. So when you grow up and you're driving past the hood and you notice all the people.
I
that
live in
that
Inglewood.
Oh, wow. Well, all the people that live in the projects.
Can you believe it? I'm the only white guy that lives in Inglewood, though. I thought there'd be all these liberals that wanted to live in Inglewood with all the black people, but
You would think
I'm the
so,
only
right?
one.
Well, good for you. I'm glad.
Yeah.
But anyhow, so
I love them. It's great. I really like living there.
Well, it's so funny because they're not as dangerous as we were taught to believe, But when you have these ideas like, I see all black people live in poor places, and if they pull themselves up by the bootstraps, so you get those two mixed up. Well, isn't it nice that we were born with boots? Okay, we just take so much for granted that.
But what about people like in Appalachia who are like dirt poor?
Okay, you can be homeless. You can be poor, you can be hungry, you can even be shot by a police officer and be white. But it was not because of your race. Okay? That's our privilege. We might be homeless, we might be hungry, we might be all those things, but it's not because we're white. So for us, we treat
it's because
racism like a side item. But for them, it's the reason they're poor. It's the reason they're homeless. It's the reason they're hungry. It's the reason they're getting shot.
Do you think
there's
it's
any way out of that? How, like, what's the solution?
Well, you're talking about it to people. You're walking up to complete strangers and saying, "Hey, what's going on?" That's the beginning. It's going to take us 2 generations before we
But
get ourselves out
should
of
black people think about themselves that way? Like,
Well, but one thing I hear a lot though is
Say,
sorry, I didn't mean to.
It's his
they're
turn.
do you think the black people should think about themselves that way as like having a natural just unable to keep up from systematic oppression, so that they should just you think that's kind of something they should have internalized? It's like
I think they have a lot to learn too. They lied to us all. Okay, they lied to us all, and like they said, well, they'll shoot themselves. Well, if you look at the doll tests, that where they put the black baby, the white baby dolls.
Yeah,
out,
I know that test.
They're still doing the black doll's a pretty one. That it's just so entrenched in our system. You don't even need people to make racism go on anymore. It's a systemic institution. So even if they shot all the racists right now in the head, it's so embedded into our systems.
Would that be a good thing to do? If we could do that? Shoot all the racists in the head?
I like that idea. Okay. I gotta go. I gotta get somebody to work here. It was so nice meeting you, gentlemen.
You too.